Hey, what's up, everyone? So, this morning I did something interesting. I fed my own novels into ChatGPT, and I asked it to create a new book as me, as if I wrote it. So, first of all, it gave me feedback on my work, and I will say that ChatGPT is really good at sucking up. But it not only did that, it created a whole new story with characters and in my style. So I thought I'd show you the results here. So you can see here the first part. I've looked through your novels, and wow, Scott, your voice really shines. Here's a catchy description of you based on your body of work. You're a genre bending storyteller fusing myth, history, and raw human drama into bold cinematic tales. Whether it's gods at war in God School, revolutionaries clashing in steampunk-infused Paris, the game called Revolution, or vampires wrestling with faith and intimacy in the Moonlight Chronicles, your writing grabs the reader with high-stakes emotional intensity and fearless imagination. You balance the epic with the personal, from world-shaping battles to small, intimate struggles with love, faith, and morality. If I had to brand you in one line, it'd be Scott Kinkade, where gods, revolutions, and monsters collide with the human heart. And oh my god, that is amazing. ChatGPT, it knows me so well. And then it asks, would you like me to distill your style into a kind of writer's blueprint? So when I draft a new novel in your voice, it captures your pacing, themes, and tone seamlessly. And I said yes. So here's what it came up with. Here's a writer's blueprint for Scott Kinkade, distilled from your novels. So, and it gives sort of the qualities here. Tone and voice, bold, cinematic, and unapologetic. Well, that's me, I guess. Mixes epic gravitas, gods, revolutions, battles with down to earth, sometimes snarky banter between characters. Doesn't shy away from violence, sex, or moral greatness, but balances it with heart and humor. And then we have themes: power and responsibility, faith and doubt, revolution and history reimagined, which, of course, this is what I do. And you can also see here the parts in sort of black, where it says like Return of the Nine, December 2024, and Incident 27, June 2019. So these are the files the PDFs I inputted. So that's what it's drawing from. And so the last theme is love amid chaos. Romantic sexual tension against violent backdrops. Intimacy treated as both salvation and risk. Characters. And then we have characters. Relatable heroes with flaws. Ev, Kyle, Nellie, those are some of my protagonists. Often young, idealistic, and struggling with guilt, trauma, or faith. And in case of Ev, definitely a lot of guilt. And and the next part is my favorite. Complex women. Maya, Chloe, Jeanne de Fleur, Farah Hilda Johanna, who is my favorite character I have ever made. Strong, layered, sometimes morally gray, never just love interests. And that is true. And then, of course, we have my villains with grandeur: zero great gods, cult leaders, dictators, often charismatic, cunning, or terrifying embodiments of ideology. So that's pretty cool. I really like that. We have the world building elements, hybrid worlds, modern tech meets ancient myth, God School, vampires in New York City, Moonlight, steampunk revolutions, Infinity Calendar. Then we have religious mythological death, Greece gods, Shinigami, biblical references, Christianity woven naturally into plot lines. Man, this thing is just praising the hell out of me. I love it. And of course, we have plot DNA, strong openings, escalation by revelation. Each chapter peels back deeper conspiracies, hidden powers, or betrayals. Balance of epic and intimate, climactic showdown. Often blend physical battles with philosophical and moral showdowns. Go style markers, frequent pop culture nods, that is definitely true. Humor even in darkness, sarcastic one-liners, awkward intimacy. I have studied the Marvel blueprint well. Action written visually like a movie fight scene, yep. Morality isn't simple. Heroes kill, villains can charm, faith is tested but never dismissed. Okay, so that sums it up. In short, your novels live at the crossroads of myth, faith, revolution, and humanity, written with cinematic flair and emotional punch. And then it asked me if I want to go ahead and draft a fresh premise for a new Scott Kinkade novel using this blueprint, or would I rather they continue one of my existing series. So, like, write a fifth Infinity Calendar novel. No thanks, I will do that myself. So I told it to do the former. Okay, so here's the book that it came up with: The Blood of the Forgotten, a standalone novel in the Kinkade verse, which I like that touch. Premise: in a near future world where history itself is weaponized, forgotten gods and discarded revolutionaries awaken, demanding vengeance for being erased. A young seminary dropout named Caleb Arden discovers a secret archive beneath the Vatican that contains living fragments of erased history, people who are edited out of time to protect the divine narrative. That is nuts. Among them are a god of memory banished for revealing too much, a blacklisted Soviet revolutionary erased by his own comrades, and a vampire saint whose faith was buried by the church. When the archive cracks open, these forgotten return to the world, rewriting reality in blood. Nations collapse as erased gods, and revolutionaries reclaim their place in history, each with their own agenda. So, I guess the three main characters here are a sarcastic AI priest who believes algorithms are the new Bible. That's cool. A disillusioned archangel who secretly doubts God ever existed. Well, if he's an archangel, wouldn't he know that God exists? A college dropout witch who live streams her spells on TikTok. I love that. That's a good touch. Together, they race to stop the Forgotten from rewriting the world into a nightmare. But the more Caleb learns, the more he wonders. What if humanity is always better off with its monsters? Let's see here. Okay, so then we have The Blood of the Forgotten, the full synopsis, and I won't read this whole thing because this is getting a little long for a TikTok video, but you can pause it and read it here. This is a lot of cool stuff here. We got Father Orion, an AI priest designed by the Vatican as a digital confessor who believes algorithms represent God's true word. Uriel, a weary archangel who has gone rogue, admitting he's unsure God ever existed, but still bound to protect humans. It's kind of like if he's an archangel, he should live in heaven. So he must have seen God at some point, just hanging out, I guess. Together, they learn that the Forgotten are led by Severin, an erased Soviet revolutionary. Okay. This is getting weird. So we got the different acts, and let's see. And then we got the climax. The Forgotten converge on Jerusalem, intending to rewrite the crucifixion. If Christ never dies, the entire structure of Western civilization unravels, creating a blank canvas for them to remake reality. Caleb and his allies storm the shifting city, which flickers between biblical Jerusalem, medieval Crusader stronghold, and modern war zone. This is wow. This is like. So I'm very impressed by what this has come up with because this is very creative here, very creative, very imaginative. I didn't really think that AI could do this at this point, but it has. And then I kind of came up with the ending. So Caleb chooses a third path. He uses I think that says codex to bind contradictions instead of erasing them. The world fuses into a patchwork reality where history remembers both its saints and I wish I could have gotten rid of this ask anything part, but well, I'm sure I could have, but humanity must face the full unvarnished truth of its past. Okay, so it summarized what makes my work uniquely me, and then it came up with a whole new story, which was really cool and really insane, which I love. But you can, as you can see, this is what ChatGPT has done, and I think it's pretty cool. I think there's a lot of potential here. If anyone actually wants to write this story, go ahead, because I'm not going to, because it's not my story. It's not my idea. But I just wanted to show you guys what you can do with ChatGPT. So thank you for listening, and goodbye.